Alright, welcome everyone. Today we have a special video. I'm in a 64-player vintage cube draft. It's single elimination, but if a 3-0 I get to draft again at the final table. And yeah. This is my opening pack. No card, jumps out immediately. First of all, I'm going to check who I'm drafting against. Okay, I'm only familiar with Feta Rusher. I think that's an Italian player. Yeah, I was just checking for some of the usual suspects. So between Sneak Attack and Entomb for me here, I feel like Entomb is the best Reanimator card to start with, but Sneak Attack is maybe easier to put together. I don't know. I'm gonna go for Entomb here. I think that card has the highest upside, and we'll tell if I'm right or wrong. So let's say I went with the Sneak Attack pack one. Would that change anything? Maybe I would go for Scalding Tarn here, and I'm going to look elsewhere because I took the Entomb. A card like Toxic Deluge is very strong. I could take that card. I think it's between that or Narset. Narset, double blue, but still, if I have to deviate from the Reanimator plan, Narset is going to be super strong. Yeah, I'm actually going to go for Narset here. I'm going to keep my options open. I like blue. So what are we working with here? A pack with a draw 7. Maybe I have to take that draw 7. Also, Entomb gets the Echo. Yeah, that's actually sick. So I'm going to pick Echo of Eons, but I'm taking it over basically cards like Snuff Out, Chrome Host Seed Shark. Actually, those two cards go pretty well together. I've been thinking about that for Legacy Vintage and stuff. I need to try that Seed Shark soon. Maybe I'll do that on the channel. Yeah, I'm going to take Echo of Eons here. So in a perfect world, I get a hybrid between Reanimator and cheaty draw 7 stuff, where I have cards let's see, the Stowaway, Chart a Course, cross synergy stuff. I'm going to go for the Echo. Okay, this is at least an exciting start to the draft, right? So right now I'm looking for ways to reanimate. That could be the card Reanimate, Animate Dead, Necromancy. But I'm also looking for the best fatties in the game, which are Atraxa, Gristlebrand, and Archon of Cruelty, I would say. And other than that, look, I'm ready to abandon the Entomb plan for sure. Let's say I end up, what do I know, blue-red or something. That's totally possible. That was kind of the point with the Narset pick. It wasn't necessarily following up the Entomb in the best way, but it could be a solid combination of good in blue-black and good if I end up deviating from that plan. Here's actually a tough pick, because sure, I could take Jace's Prodigy and say, yeah, this has some kind of synergy with the Reanimator deck I'm hopefully going to end up in. But Leovold is my second Narset effect, more likely to make Echo of Eons and future draw 7s good. I do have to think, what are the future draw 7s? Time Twister, Time Spiral. So the list is not that long, I would say. Actually, I don't know if Sail into the West is in this cube. So this is a crossroads here. Jace is obviously going to be strong with both plans. I'm going to have to find fixing in order to make the Leovold good. Yeah, I'm going to try and shoot for the stars and take this Leovold. Might regret it. Time will tell. So, look. I could look, Birds of Paradise is strong because if I'm base green, let's say I'm green-blue, and I'm splashing my Reanimator theme, if I'm even playing it to begin with. That's one possibility. The other one is Cryptic Command. Because this lets me go, I need to be base green for the birds to be good. But if I'm base blue, the Cryptic is always going to be strong. So yeah, so tough picks. I could easily have Jace's Prodigy into Cryptic, but instead I have Leovold into birds. Super, super tough situation. Yeah, I think I brought this upon myself. So I have to take the Recurring Nightmare. I would love the Sakura because that would probably let me get away with playing like one swamp, play green blue. I think Recurring Nightmare, when I have the Entomb and I'm planning to have, small creatures, I think I have to go for that. The Troll would obviously also be strong. Super tough draft to navigate. Okay, so this is between Creeping Tar Pit and Consider. Both great options. I'm going to go for the land here. I really want to bolster my ability to cast my cards, basically. So right now, look, I'm ready to go blue-black and just say bye-bye Leovold, bye-bye birds, if everything falls into place. This is a great draft. I'm not complaining here. Another just tough pick. Doughty Whitewalker is awesome, but Sultai Triome is kind of helping my plan. So what I was saying was, look, I'm ready to ditch these 2 green cards and say, okay, I kept my options open. I followed these paths, but blue-black was open, so whatever. But I think with this development, it's very likely I end up with the green. Also, I need baddies. So Fact or Fiction, it's actually sad to see that card this late. So both Fact or Fiction and Thief of Sanity are great cards. I wonder what the best one is. Maybe it's Fact or Fiction because it randomly puts cards in the yard, which could be Echo, creatures, stuff like that. I'm going to try. Toxic Deluge. I considered taking that the first go around, and now it wheeled. There's an Esper land. But it's, yeah, still blue-black fixing. I'm actually going to go for the Toxic. Rankle, is that card playable? Probably not. I'm going to take it and add to my sideboard. Botanical Sanctum. This is good fixing, obviously. I think there's another card I could be, like, super lucky to wheel. I just can't remember what it is right now. Yeah, these cards shouldn't go this late. I'm actually surprised that I'm able to, firmly feel like blue-black. Maybe blue-black is not open. Maybe it's just the, like, Reanimator type cards that I'm getting, like the Recurring Nightmare. Okay, so this is a great start. Like, I have great mana. It's a bit awkward that I'm probably looking to be base green to cast this Birds of Paradise, but that card's only use is to bolster my mana. It's kind of strange. Yeah, so while we wait for the next pack, guys, thank you so much for being here today. I decided to start making a bunch of content, and that wouldn't be fun if you guys weren't here. So thank you so much for embarking on this journey with me. That being said, next pack, I think there's only one pick here for me, which is not, like, that's not terrible. So, look, Fractured Identity is great, but I don't really want to branch into another color if I can help it. Fairy Mastermind and Subtlety, those are, like, decent cards. But Tropical Island is just, if your mana is perfect and you play cards like Leovold, like, that card is awesome. I'm going to take that card. At least I'm going to try to take that card. Okay. Right-click works. So Bug, trying to be Reanimator, trying to cheat draw 7s. Yeah. I mean, that's that is a deck. Like, I only have good cards in here. So I'm gonna be fine in that department. So funnily enough, no playable fatties yet. So what about this pack? Baleful Strix is awesome. Daze is awesome. Smuggler's Coupler is awesome. Smuggler's Coupler is one of the better ways to dump fatties from your hand. So I think I have to ask myself, am I trying to hedge my bets here and take Strix or Daze? Or am I still trying to make, the Reanimator plan as good as possible in case I get it? And I don't know the answer to that question. Ace Strix. I think I'm taking Baleful Strix or Copter, but I kind of want both. Okay, I'm gonna try and take the Copter. What an insane draft. I could have gone like multiple directions and still been in fine shape. So Questing Beast is good. Click is just fine. Probe is good. Chart, of course. I think with the same logic as the Smuggler's Copter pick, I'm gonna go for Charter Course. It's just a good way to dump the Echo, dump Future Fatty. Okay, so I have to take this Grave Titan, I think. Pretty late Fury. Next guy is gonna be super happy. Yeah, I'm gonna take this Grave Titan. Grave Titan is a good fatty because it's also hard castable. So let's take the Grave Titan. So right now, at least I have something to do with my, Entomb Recurring Nightmare stuff. It's also very possible somebody just first picked Atraxa or Archon or Animate Dead or Reanimate, and I'm just not gonna get there. Does this pack have anything that I can play? I actually don't think the Civilian is terrible. 3/4. Draws a card when I attack. Tenacious Underdog. That card is just, it's a creature. It crews. It sacks to Nightmare. That's not horrible. Better for the curve. I'm actually going to take the Underdog. I'm not super happy about that. Or is Scavenging Ooze just better in that situation? Maybe Scavenging Ooze is just better. I'll try and take the Scavenging Ooze. It's not like my favorite card or anything. Here I'm actually going to take Scarab God. That card is good to ramp out. That card is decent to reanimate, and it can like keep reanimating stuff. Scarab God is not horrible. It's a fine pickup. Hullbreaker Horror is kind of the same. Maybe that card is like serviceable fatty if everything else fails. Let's try pick up that card, put it on top of the Grave Titan, which is basically the end of my curve. Yeah. It would be awesome to open some power or like reanimate, animate dead, like stuff like that. They're sailing to the west. Okay, that's a good pickup for my Leovold and Narset consistency. I'm definitely looking for some more ramp. Let's see what would that be, like one of the two, like either noble or ignoble card, like Utopia Sprawl, stuff like that. Endurance Wield, but I'm not sure I'm in the market for that. I'm actually going to take the Talisman here. Talisman is not anything special, but it's fine. So what about this? I mean, Garrick is not horrible, but it's not that great either. Double green, etc. Yeah, maybe I just take that Garrick. The alternative is like a super speculative Stomping Ground. Let's see, does this mill? Yeah, this does mill, so Tameo can be okay. Overgrown Tomb all the way back. Okay, that's sick. I'm gonna hate draft the Cruel Ultimatum. Okay, I mean, getting Sailing to the West, getting some playable fatties, that definitely helps. So I need to round out the deck with like solid things to do from 0 to 2 mana, I think. Sailing to the West, so I have to think here. Yeah, that's just a draw 7 on my side if I have a Narset or Leovold in play. That works. That'll work for me. Yeah, I haven't drafted this deck before. I think the Leovold pick is what brought me here, so to speak. Okay, so Sheldred is the best card in this pack, I would say. And the thing with Sheldred is it's double black, so the whole, yeah, mainly trying to splash black this or that is kind of out the window. Question is, can I play this deck without birds and ooze and only play like the later green card? Yeah, I would also need to cut Garrick in that spot. Okay, I'm not totally sure about that. So here I think it's Lich. Lich is pretty good. What am I taking it over? So Lauren Revealed is a trial land, correct? Yeah, it gets Tropical or Triome. That is super strong. I'm not disputing that. Maybe my mana needs that with the Sheldred pick. Maybe that's the logic. Okay, I'll actually pick Lauren Revealed here. Dark Slick Shores bolsters my mana. Una's Prowler is good if I draw a card Nightmare, then it's like your creature and your outlet all in one. And it just, crews the Copter, discards the Echo. I'm actually gonna take that card. I like Pentat Prism and Dark Slick Shores as well, but I think, yeah, this is kind of my last hurrah when it comes to finding a Reanimate spell. Also, let me look at the playables. So right now I have 5 lands. Yeah, I'm getting there on playables. Somewhat late Solitude here. Somebody's going to be happy with that card. So with cards like... Yeah, the Fallen Shinobi is good with Una's Prowler. But that's almost it. Do I just take Grim Monolith so I can hardcast my top end? I don't think that's bad. Let's go for Grim Monolith. So this pack has what? Shark Typhoon? Bone Shards? Oh, let's see. How many ways do I have to discard the Echo and Fatties? Charticourse, Prowler, Copter. Probably enough. Maybe Shark Typhoon is what I want here. Or need, rather. It's not exactly what I want. More mana fixing. What does this Eternal Witness do? Eternal Witness gets back stuff like Charticourse, stuff like Lauren Revealed. It's a body for Recurring Nightmare and Copter. I don't hate it. But maybe I pick up land. Yeah, I pick up land here, and I hope to round out the deck with a few playables. Hymn to Torag, that is a strong one. But yeah, double black. My mana is just super ambitious. I'm wondering if that's how I'm supposed to play it. Memory Jar is not really the same as the other draw 7s. Memory Jar, or what about Phantasmal Image? Nah, no, Hymn is too strong. I'm not going to take Phantasmal Image over it. I'm pretty happy with picking up Lauren Revealed and Blooming Marsh, because this mana base is going to be very optimistic. Gix is pretty good, but I don't have that many creatures, and like more strain on the black mana is not my favorite either. I'm actually just going to hate pick this Underworld Breach. Or maybe I'm supposed to hate pick Thespian Stage. Nah, I'm going to take the Breach. Okay, so I don't think I need any more fatties. Elish Noan and Yona are fine, right? But I can definitely use some... It is situational ramp, though. 1, 2, 3 forests already in my mana base. I think situational ramp is acceptable at this stage. I even wield the Lich. Is the Lich better than Trespasser? I would say so. Huh. The Prism came around? Okay, so I definitely wield some good stuff this draft that I initially thought about taking. That's never a bad situation to be in. Walking Ballista? Not sure if that makes the cut. I don't think so. The Shade, don't think that makes the cut either. I mean, Proving Ground, I'll play that card. And Hex Mage to round it out. Okay, I mean, I have definitely some options here. Pretty good mana base. Decent number of ramp. I can hardcast some stuff. But my reanimation plan didn't really get there, so I'm probably leaning on the draw 7 plan to, you know, take me home. Alright, that does it for the draft portion. I will build the deck, and I'll see you guys for round 1. Alright, welcome to round 1 of the 64 player Vintage Cube. I'm on the draw here with a questionable hand, so let me just show you guys the deck I ended up with. My forest count is kind of low. I'm trying to split my mana between 3 colors somewhat evenly. Yeah, this could be rough. Just the fact that I have enough lands, but I can't cast my Hymn to Torg on time. And if I can, that means I draw another Swamp, which is not really a good draw to begin with. But, yeah, let's see. Opponent plays a 3/1 Lifelinker. There's the black mana. Question is what I want to do. I think what I want to do is deploy my Una's Prowler and then make it so that a fatty is a good draw. In combination with the recurring nightmare that is. Skyclave. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I do have combat cards like Toxic Deluge in the deck. But yeah, aggro can be definitely a problematic matchup. Here I'm going to go Grim Monolith, Tapland. Yeah, playing on the back foot is just so tough with this deck. Wow. Even Relic Warder. I mean, we're entering Toxic Deluge or Bust territory super soon here. Leovold alongside the draw 7. I mean, I do like that. Leovold. Arbor Elf. So right now I'm hoping for Leovold to keep back the 2/2s and Arbor Elf to trade off with the 3/1. Wow. Lots of interaction here from the opponent. This is going to be super tough. So I have double black, I have triple green, I have a double blue. Maybe I want triple blue, is that it? Yeah, I think so. Oof. Brutal game. Like, good creature curve. Yeah, even that Flicker Wisp is a good play because that clears the way for 3 more damage from the adversary. So I'm at 5. If I go draw 7, I can hit the Toxic Deluge and play against a full grip, but I would also have a full grip myself. The alternative, conceding, and that's showing that info, but I don't think that has any merit. So I'll go... I'll try and sail into the west. Let's see, I think it's Embark. Okay. So I need to hit exactly Toxic Deluge, run it for 2, and then try and stabilize. Okay. Toxic Deluge, pay 2 life, get back my Monolith, get a 2/2. Yeah, this is definitely my best shot. So can I go Hullbreaker, Horror, Sheldred. That's the question. I think I'm one short. Opponent goes Dark Confidant. Hopefully more ground creatures. Then I have a shot. Thalia, Esper Sentinel. So I mean, thankfully, my hand is creatures. So let's see. What have I got here? I really want to get that Sheldred into play. How much mana have I got to work with? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9. So I have 10 mana to work with in case I want to. 10 mana. I lose to a card like, let's say, Parallax Wave. I think. Yeah, I lose to that card. So what does Scarab God do right now? Scarab God plus activation. That gives me a big Flicker Wisp. And I can... Yeah, is Scarab God my best card? Even Apparition. Scarab God. Sheldred is like the card that stabilizes me here. So let's see. What if I go tap land, Scarab God, animate? Then I get a Flicker Wisp. That Flicker Wisp can... So I can do it on, let's say, my own end step, and I can get rid of the Confidant. Maybe that's pretty strong. Grave Titan is the card that, let's say, turns the tables the most, like, let's see, 6? So, yeah, I think I can go Grave Titan Sheldred. Maybe that's the play. Grave Titan Sheldred. Okay, I'm gonna try go... This is such a tough spot, right? Grave Titan Sheldred. Sounds good to me, but obviously can prove to not be enough. Let me put it that way. Grave Titan hits the stack. Sheldred hits the stack. And the battlefield. Having Sheldred in play also makes it so that Echo of Eons is a sick draw. Yeah, what a game. I think I took too much damage in the meantime while I was setting up for me to be favored, but okay. My opponent passing the turn here is obviously huge. Okay, so I'm definitely attacking with the Grave Titan. I feel like I'm supposed to deploy Hullbreaker Horror at instant speed. Develop a tap land. I think I like that. Grave Titan attacks. Get 2 more tokens for defense. My opponent's Winds of Abandon notably is gone. So, yeah, play Blooming Marsh pass. Have 7 mana up for Hullbreaker Horror. Yeah. Let's see. I mean, obviously, for every turn that passes by is better for me. Swamp into the opponent's hand. Like last turn was also a land. Tithe Taker. Wait a minute. Ah, yeah, I messed up. Wow, that's huge. I really messed up there. I should have responded with the Hullbreaker Horror. For some reason, I thought this says it was like what's the card called? The White Chancellor, where it's like when I cast it, it gets countered. This can't get countered. Well, yeah. Okay, so 5 mana to untap my Monolith. That was not great. That was could be costly. Let's see. Grave Titan acts again here. Thinking if I should have sent the zombies. Not sure that makes sense. Opponent blocks here to get a 1/1 flyer. Makes perfect sense. So now that card is off the table. What I could do is draw 3 to like bolster my life total. Is that how you play? So I'm wondering if I can go Hullbreaker Horror and draw 3. I can. Hullbreaker Horror and draw 3. No, I can't because of Thalia, and then my opponent also draws cards, etc., etc. So let's not do that. Let's go Scarab God. Yeah, this game should be over at this point, right? So which cards makes it so that my opponent can Kraken for lethal? I'm not sure there is any. I think my opponent can only win like the good old-fashioned way. I don't think that's possible. So now, end step Horror versus draw 3 right now. I think it's okay to pass here. I'm also holding up Scarab God on like Scarab God activation on like Flicker Wisp or whatever. Yeah, this is gonna be fine. Opponent's life total is slowly but surely going towards 0. No attacks. Maybe I just reanimate here. Seems like a good play. So let me get Flicker Wisp out of your graveyard. Let me get rid of the Golem for good. Okay, that's game 1. Oof, what a game. The draw 7 into Toxic Deluge and stabilize that way was just beautiful. I think I want Walking Ballista against this deck. Not convinced a card like Custodial Lich is realistic. So that swap is pretty obvious for me. The thing is, my opponent has too many like small creatures for the Lich to backfire. And I can't always count on, you know, resetting the board with Toxic. That was just kind of a fortunate turn of events there. I don't like Rankle. Misery's Shadow is something I can consider, but it's obviously not the best card. Yeah, I'm gonna try this. Also, I have to think about what to do with like a Naked Entomb in case I just have it in my opener. Maybe I hang on to it because I don't know if I want, I don't know, Grave Titan or Echoes. Oof, what a game. That was, yeah, I'm sad about the Tithe Taker. I wish I just responded with my horror that turn and, you know, played it correctly, but that was too much to ask at that spot. With Cube, I feel like I get most things. I'm on top of most things, but sometimes, yeah, sometimes stuff like that just happens. I mean, that's bound to happen at any level of the game. Yeah, this hand is a keep because I have Burst of Paradise, Una's Prowler, Recurring Nightmare, Grave Titan. So funnily enough, if my Burst of Paradise gets killed, I'm in big trouble. When it's on a mulligan, land is a good draw. Is there a world? No, there's no world. I go turn 1 Arbor Elf because this lets me go Prowler and Arbor Elf turn 2. So Tithe Taker. Okay. Okay, so now I go Prowler, Arbor Elf. It is a black card. So a game like this, a Toxic Deluge is horrible, but Seraph. Okay, so can this give first strike? No. So let's see what the opponent does here. Flying makes sense. Do I want to trade off that card? Or just, you know, take my medicine? Trade off that card. No, I think I'm fine. Let's take the damage here. The thing is, I would have to shrink my Prowler to block here. And then my opponent can do the same and their creature survives, so that wouldn't be... Ooh, did I make a mistake there? No, it's fine. I'm not going to attack anyway. But let's say this wasn't the 3/3 flyer. Then before my turn, I should have discarded the Grave Titan so that this would be a 3/1 flyer right now. This is... Magic is a tough game. Let me put it that way. So, Recurring Nightmare. I'm going to sacrifice... well. What am I going to sacrifice? The Prowler? Maybe I'm supposed to discard this Echo for later. Yeah, let's do that. So discard Echo. And then make a Grave Titan. Play the land. That's my forest. So now Arbor Elf actually does something. Let's see if my opponent can deal with Grave Titan. That's the type of card that can run away with the game pretty quickly. So the opponent can go Lifelink on the Seraph here, get in for 3 in the air. And there's some kind of race going on here, I would say. I can use my Recurring Nightmare to get a flying... Ooh, okay. Get a flying blocker, I was about to say. I'm gonna go to the attack step and see what's up here. I'm not too scared of cards like Restoration Angel. I feel like I should try and win this game. Opponent does have the Resto Angel. So... Huh. Is this an angel? This is an angel. Wow. Okay. So opponent takes 8 here. Opponent takes 2 here. So let's see. If I play Recurring Nightmare twice, I get another Grave Titan. Is that how it works? So that would mean that I also want to have the flyer anyway. So let's do this. Recurring Nightmare. Let's get the flyer for the Titan. Let's get the Titan for a tapped zombie, I guess. Yeah, try and build as much power as possible, just like the opponent here. I really like putting the flyer into play because my opponent's plan here is to like win the game in the air, which is very possible. Yeah, this is a complicated game. I'm gonna block the Seraph here. Oh, okay. So that's the only attacker. Wonder what I'm supposed to do. Probably just take it, right? Yeah, I take that damage. Sail into the West. That's not my favorite card at this stage. So let's go attack with the zombie squad, including the guy with the big sword. Opponent takes 6. Yeah, so the opponent is trying to like slowly but surely grind me out of this game. So I need to look at my deck list here for Tamiyo. So what would be like the best? Probably a card like Entomb would be very strong. Leovold is strong. Maybe I go... What I can do here is the double Nightmare again. Is that strong? I'm going to play this card. Let's see. I can go Entomb. Did not hit Entomb. There's Toxic Deluge in the yard. That could come in handy. And I'll pass the turn. So now there's even... If my opponent lets me have Tamiyo, I can return to Shark Typhoon, have like a big flyer. I think this is approaching the stage of the game where my opponent needs to get rid of either Recurring Nightmare or Grave Titan, or it could be just very hard to come back. I also just make a note to myself that I have a flying blocker in the birds, in case I need it later. Very interesting game. Yeah. Lifelink, the Restoration Angel. I'm going to block over here. My opponent discards a card to have the Seraph stay alive. I take 3. Opponent has to pass, which is obviously super tough. I'll start by attacking with all the zombies and the Titan. Maybe the opponent has the last card as a Path to Exile that we saw the other game. That wouldn't be like an unreasonable card to have at this point. So I get in for a ton of damage. That's 16 damage right there. Opponent's at 5. Yeah, I'll return the Typhoon here. I think that's a great play. Then I have the bird as a blocker and the shark as a blocker. So I just pass the turn here. Yeah, I like that. I'm trying to play as, let's say, conservative with my life total as possible. I think that got the job done this game. The unanswered Grave Titan is gonna be tough, right? I even was able to Recurring Nightmare back and forth. And generally, like, white-black Hate Bears doesn't have like the best comeback mechanisms. Yeah, that's the match right there. Once you're kind of fallen behind on board against a somewhat unfair thing, like turn 3 Grave Titan, I think it was. Yeah, my hand drew the land I needed, and then I was able to make the turn 3 Grave Titan. That's gonna win the game a lot of the time. So that card would have needed to been answered like right off the bat. And then I would still have the couple zombies to play around with and future, you know, Recurring Nightmare shenanigans, etc. But yeah, okay, my deck showed itself from game 1. I threaded the needle there. Like, let's be honest. I had exactly 7 mana for draw 7 in to sweep the board. And then I was lucky my opponent just drew into, you know, some more like small stuff. And I had some big stuff to do and was able to dominate the end of that game. Yeah, okay. That's round 1. Remember, this is a single elimination, so the next match can always be the last. I'll see you guys for round 2. Okay, welcome to round 2 of the 64-player Vintage Cube Elimination Draft. So, I'm on the draw here with an exciting hand, I would say. Exciting in the sense that there's a lot to digest here. I'm trying to figure out how many draws do I have that makes this hand, like, good. And I don't think it's that many. It's like Recurring Nightmare. Not even card like Grim Monolith would help me here. Pentad Prism would be okay. Then I would have a turn 4 Grave Titan. So let's see. Turn 2 Prowler, turn 2 Cycle, turn 3 Cycle Typhoon. Yeah, I think this is a keep, but I'm also very aware that I can get, you know, blown out like super easily. Imtatoric and all of the non-swamp basic lands, that's just a knock to the, well, or a knock on the deck building, and that's just totally on me, you know. That I brought that upon myself with trying to draft, you know, higher impact cards. I tried to mix in drafting like good mana as well. I think I did a reasonable job, but yeah. All right, there's the days that I saw in the pack with Baleful Strix and Smuggler's Copter. You remember that one? One has a nice mana base here. Fable is a good card. Okay. Black Source. I don't think that's going to get the job done this time around. So yeah, I can't remember if I said it or I just thought about it, but when you play single elimination, you don't even have to imagine that your next match can be your last. Sometimes it just is. So this is a good curve from the opponent. Turn 2 Counterspell, obviously winning the die roll. That's huge because Daze becomes way worse when you don't. So turn 2 Counter Magic, turn 3 Fable, turn 4 Lelia. Now my opponent hits Tenacious Underdog. With a land, my opponent can play it out. Yep, there's the land. My opponent is on like 4-color, maybe just Grixis. This Bayou could be in the deck because of a card like, let's say, Misty Rainforest. Entomb. Yeah, I think my play is here to him to target my opponent and then concede. Okay, Treasury, and I guess I'm supposed to see one more card off the top with Lelia. But yeah, this game is just over. I'm trying to get as much information as possible. Robber. That's also like information. Let's see how my opponent stacks these abilities. Okay. I show Factor Fiction. My opponent shows Fairy Mastermind. Okay, that does it. Poof. Brutal game. So actually, I think I've seen enough small stuff that Ballista is reasonable. I don't know what to cut, though. What do I cut? Hullbreaker, Horror, and... No, Entomb is okay. Entomb is okay. What did I cut the last time around? Lich. I think I need the Lich. I mean, it's not great, obviously, but I think I need the Lich. Toxic actually seems good. Maybe it's Arbor Elf. How many green do I have? Starting green sources. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I cut the Arbor Elf, I can actually go like minus a forest plus a swamp. It's like super minor, but I think it's reasonable. Okay, game 2. Let's see if I can do better. This hand is not the best. Let me put it that way. Turn 1 birds. Notably, birds cannot crew the copter, but I think I'm willing to put faith in my deck to give me a creature like within a few draws. Library turn 1. Smuggler's Copter, tap land. And then I think I need to draw something to do next turn to like bridge into the Lich. This is super tough. That is definitely something to do to bridge into the Lich. Hmm. Question is, when do I fire off this card? I'm actually gonna do it now, so that if I get dazed, it has the highest impact on the opponent. I do get dazed. Yeah, this could be a quick one. So the dream is my opponent plays some kind of creature here, and that I can lich away, hit with a copter, trade in some lands for spells, get the monarch going. But if the opponent just goes like land pass your move, then it's gonna be tough. Well, assuming that means the lich doesn't resolve. But let's see about that. Swamp. Lich. Also, the problem is the fairy mastermind, actually. So maybe I'm supposed to stay back with the copter. I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to stay back because of the info I got from fairy mastermind. The thing is, yeah, the thing is, fairy mastermind is just so good. Like, even now, it's just a perfect card, right? Then that makes the monarch symmetrical. Brutal. Yeah, I might just be stone dead. I didn't have anything relevant to do these games compared to my opponent. Game 1 was a stomp. Just 1-for-1 interaction. Good threat, good threat. Not much to do there. And this game, the daze was huge. And also my opponent got the mana ramp from Everflowing Chalice while drawing extra cards. So the setback from daze wasn't that big. That's just insanely strong. So opponent goes Firebolt on the Lich. I'll crew my copter in response, as I should. Opponent can't attack. Whew. It looks like the fairy mastermind just did it to me here. It negated the monarch just so efficiently. This play is embarrassing, like cycling my land. Narset. The opponent's just drawing so many cards. Play Narset. Activate Narset. Recurring Nightmare is a decent one. I'll go for that. And I have to pass. I draw another card. Now the opponent can decide between getting the Monarch and reducing my Narset. I think one of the only ways for me to win this game is to pair Narset with Draw 7. It's just... Poof, it's so tough. Also, my opponent knows about Recurring Nightmare, so just killing the birds could be everything my opponent needs to win. Yeah, Vintage Cube is so beautiful, right? Sometimes you have like just a perfect combination of cards, and you get to, explore combination of cards you've never seen before. You obviously seen the cards and you have a ton of experience, but putting those together is just like, that's awesome. Squee. So Squee here is the perfect answer for Narset. That's 3 hasty damage, and then the Mastermind can take the crown. And also, the 1/1 is the perfect card to sacrifice for the Custodialage trigger. Yeah, this game was... this match was just not close. I got destroyed at every step. Scarab God. Is that anything to write home about? Scarab God. So I can go develops Talisman, play Scarab God, pass. Opponent with a full grip, going up to 8 on the draw step. Opponent has a firebolt in the yard. So, yeah. Toxic Deluge is still in my deck. It's funny because I feel like I've lost the game on 2 consecutive turns. But I guess there is a non-0% chance that I can thread the needle. Toxic Deluge being a almost one-sided Wrath of God is pretty cool. So let's see what the opponent decides on here. Okay. So maybe the play is to get rid of the Mastermind. I'm going to try that. Opponent, if they choose, can finish off the Copter with Firebolt in the yard, but I think I would be okay with that at this stage of the game. So let's see here. I don't think the Prism is going to do anything. The Prism can help me build mana for future turns, but this game is going to be over somewhat quickly. Oh, is this a ninja? Oh, this is beautiful. Like, this is a dream. My opponent had some very sweet cards at most turns of the game. Let me say that. That's the dream. That's why you play Cube. Wow! This is sick. The opponent hit a 11 mana worth of spells off the top of my deck with Fallen Shinobi. Yeah, I mean, you can't... If you don't appreciate this, then you just don't love Vintage Cube. This is super awesome. There's Magda, so no draw 7. The opponent doesn't want to give me, you know, way back into this game, so just replay the Magda. Bounce my Scarab God. There's the Leovold that I wanted to combine with some draw 7s earlier in this game. So let's see here. The problem is, even if I find Toxic, now my opponent has a huge creature in play. So I would have to... I would have to hit Toxic, untap land, then Toxic for 8. But the problem is the Firebolt in the yard, so yeah, this is just over. Yeah, this is just over. Yeah, I tried my best. But yeah, the opponent definitely had a sweet deck and some, you know, some sweet draws to go on top of it. I like this deck. It would be a stretch to expect to like 3-0 my pod with a deck like this. Like it needed a bit of power, it needed a bit of, let's say, just one more fatty, 1 or 2 reanimation spells, like for the unfair angle to actually be reliable. Also, I'm not too sure about moving into green but Birds of Paradise, which is so tempting at the time. That was a very cool. Yeah, the draft portion of this was actually pretty cool. I'm gonna watch this back and try and think a little bit about my choices, because I think I did well. Like, that's my feeling right now. But I also have a feeling that maybe like some streamlined blue-black deck would have been better, but was there a way to tell with the information I had at the time, etc., etc. Like, just so much stuff. Sometimes your draft is pretty straightforward, and you just, okay, these colors are open. Let's just play whatever, blue-green or blue-black, whatever. And sometimes the navigation process is just so skill testing. Yeah, that was a cool one. Thank you guys so much for watching. We got, I would say, 1 good match under our belt, and then a solid beating here in round 2. But I'll be back for more Cube, and hopefully you guys will be back as well. Until next time, see you guys.